I'm checking cameras once again. Just keep doing it, and every time I check them, we're just not getting anything good. It is really disappointing. And I keep checking, hoping that maybe there's something around the corner. 6 videos. This is getting really frustrating. Alrighty, so I'm at the next camera, and I just had a realization that there is a mini scrape next to the big scrape. Look, something made a scrape there. You can tell because I can tell some hooves did that. Right next to that scrape. I can't really tell if something's nosing at this or not, but something definitely made a scrape there next to the main scrape. So that is super exciting. So there might actually be something cool on that camera. On a second note, this corn right here is getting destroyed, and I don't know if it was from a storm or deer or both. The same thing happened last year. This section got destroyed, and this is where tons of buck and deer were coming in and out and chasing. So we could have some deer related crop damage right there. I've noticed that there are some corn cobs that are being eaten, like this one right here. There's a couple of them here. So something, deer coming out, a buck hit that scrape, corn is falling down. So I just pulled the card for this camera up here at the cornfield over here. It has 45 pictures on it, so it's not terrible. And the last camera, the one at the scrape, had 66 videos. So that's much better than that one camera back there. I don't know what's going on back there. The deer just aren't there this year. There's a chance we could have a buck because of that scrape. And maybe there'll be something up here. So we're gonna go back and check, and maybe there'll be a surprise waiting for us. Alrighty, so the other day we checked cameras, and it's actually been a few days since they've been out. But today I am back out here, and I'm actually gonna move this camera. This camera right here, this guy, we're gonna move him on the other side of the property to another corner of a cornfield. Hopefully there's some deer moving in and out there, and we get better pictures over there than we are here. By the way, I did not get a single buck picture when I checked cameras. Really disappointing. Alrighty, so I got the camera here, and we're up at this different corner of the cornfield. I'm actually gonna slip down this hill, pretty big hill, and never had a camera back in this section, but there's always some pretty good deer habitat down here. Like, it's really good, and I'd love to put a tree stand back here, which is one of the reasons I was looking for a tree stand yesterday. Problem is, it's so thick back here, there's no good trees to put a camera on, and we're really close to one of our other cameras. I might actually take this camera across the creek where there is a pretty good deer trail. Normally every year there's a pretty good deer trail, and I'm really curious as to what's back there because I've never had a camera back there, and in past years when I've hunted back there I've seen a lot of deer, including a lot of buck. I don't feel like the deer movement up here is good enough to justify putting a camera here, so we're gonna head across the creek. But we kind of run into a slight predicament. The other day the hurricane came through, and so the creek is really high. And this good old girl here, the gator, cannot go through that water. Even on a good day, the gator would struggle getting through that creek. Now I know it doesn't look high at all, but I have to go around the deep spot, and then I have to go up the hill. And this little girl right here is like one-wheel drive. I'm not sure if the diff lock works, and she sits really, really low, so I'm not even gonna risk it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head up to the house. I'm gonna put muck boots on so I can walk across. I don't have muck boots on, I just have my work boots on, and they're not waterproof. So we're gonna go get muck boots, and we'll be back. Now this four-wheeler trail back here does not see the travel like it used to. It's growing up thick. I'm guessing the deer used to use it, probably. I'm sure it's a four-wheeler trail, and the deer like to take the path of least resistance, at least from what I learned. Now the trail is still very visible, but there's just a lot of grass growing up on it, and there's no tire marks anymore. Right up here to my right is normally where this deer trail is, so I'm gonna sneak up there and look in there. Alrighty, you guys, I just found a good trail spot. So right now where I'm at, this might actually be a deer bedding area, so I don't know if I should actually be in here. But looking around, I have got 2 or 3 deer trails coming to this spot right here. And then I have a trail going right out there. I'll show you that in a minute. But right here, looks like a deer was bedding there. I got deer poop there. I got pretty fresh crap right here. I got a really nice deer trail coming down off the hill. I got trails coming from that way. Got a trail coming from there. Got a trail going that way. Come down here. There's the trail right there going that way. And come down in here. We got a trail going that way as well. So right here is a good spot. I just don't know where to put the camera exactly. So I don't want to like put it right in the bedding area. They might pick up on that. But there's a little tree right up there. I'm gonna check and point it into this bedding area. Hopefully we get some stuff. Man, I've been wanting to put a camera back here for a long time, but I never got around to it. I always knew there was a good trail here, but I don't know what took me so long to put one here. But I'm glad I came back here today because I mean, just look at this trail going up there. That's like one of the best trails. That's one of the best trails I have here on this property. And it comes down from there. So I'm gonna point it right into this bedding area because all these trails seem to converge there. So I feel like it'll make the most sense if I put it there. This might be a good spot. And this is why I want to get a tree stand back here, because this is where these deer are at. Been trying to find these deer all summer long, and I saw some of these deer, but they just disappeared. And this seems to be where they're going. They're hanging out on this side of the hill where no one is at. No one is back here. And out by the cornfield where I got that really good buck picture and video about a month ago, this is probably where he's been hanging out. So put the camera here, we'll set it up. I'm excited for this one. So this tree is a little small actually. So I stuck the stick back here, but it's still kind of loose, but it should stay, hopefully. Pointing it right down through that gap. Hopefully, like I said, we have deer coming this way into there, deer coming this way, that way, and shine it right in there. I think we'll be able to get some good pictures. So hopefully this guy stays here. We're gonna hit these buttons. I have been pretty disappointed all summer by our deer pictures. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just those spots just aren't summer locations. And that could be very true because in the fall, the locations that I have cameras on now do really good. But I hadn't really been looking that hard for new places. But I always knew that there was at least some deer activity back there on this side of the creek, up on that hill. And that proved my point right there. There's a ton of deer activity because that is the first very, very clear deer trail that I've seen this summer. Now, in the summer, when there's that much vegetation and there's that clear of a deer trail, that means that deer are in there pretty frequently. And there's some fresh poop in there. And I could tell that whole area had been stomped down and was a bedding area. That camera better produce some good pictures and we better get a buck out of there because I'm getting pretty frustrated with the 0 buck policy on this property right now.